wide. We're going to start in child pose. And of course, if you need to take any modifications throughout the practice for yourself, please do that. Sometimes some people need like a little something under their ankles or under their knees. Listen to your body and stretch your arms out in front of you. If it's better to have them by your sides, hands down by ankles, that's great too. And see if you can bring your forehead down to the mat or at least to a support. And let that forehead down on the ground bring you to connection to the earth. So opening up also helps open up the sinuses a little bit with that pressure coming into the face. Let yourself arrive here on the mat and welcome yourself to your practice. A little shift from that which has been to right now. If there's an intention for your practice, now is a moment to notice what's arriving. Notice your intention. Notice what you'd like to manifest, at least for this time on your mat, if not beyond. And as the forehead's dropping down into the ground, just take a few breaths to release any tension. To connect to the earth. Imagining your mind just opening up to ground, just what that might mean for you. And then take a moment to stretch out your arm bones and draw your shoulder blades back. To take a deeper breath in and out. Really fanning the flame of your insides. Preparing to move in the way that you wish and that serves you best. Give a little wiggle to the tail to open up the low back a little bit. And then the shoulders also rolling a little side to side. Head moves with that. Paw out your palms. Make some sound out your mouth. All of this is on offer. And just take what feels really good. Before we come back to child pose, let's come out of it for a moment and just lengthen each leg back. So coming to the ball of each foot, straightening each leg a few times, just to open up the backs of the legs. In child pose, they're kind of squoze and tight. So a couple rounds like this, we'll come back to it, but let's go back to child pose, feet together, knees wide out. And then walk your hands over to the left side of the mat. Left hand comes on top of right hand. And right shoulder draws down the back. The spaces around the ribs open. The waistline and the kind of the side hip opens. And you'll get a nice spread for the low back here. So just, especially on the right side, just take a moment or two to feel into it, to move into it, to breathe into it. One more big breath in. And exhale it out. And then walk through center and on over to the other side, lengthening the left arm over to the right. Right hand comes on top of the left. Left shoulder draws back. Left hip draws back. Spaces around the rib cage and waistline open up. And the breath also opens up like a big bellows, creating some space and some heat. If you can have your forehead to the ground, that's great. 2 more breaths. And let's come back to center and back to all fours and back to those kind of walks out with the legs, maybe taking a little more time to feel all 5 toes of each foot, to feel the details of your muscles, see what your body invites in. And then we'll meet on all fours and come into our spinal movement with cats and cows. So inhale, Lift the tailbone up to the sky and the chin up to the sky. Let the belly fall down toward the ground. And then exhale, drop the head, drop the tail, and lift the belly up. Put it up toward the sky. Open between the shoulder blades. And inhale, cow, belly drops. Shoulders drop away from ears. Eyes might gaze up, tail lifts. Little stretch to the low back there, a little arching. And then exhale, round it out, opening the low back in a different way. The rest of the spine follows. And just move with this in your own pacing, just pausing to really feel what feels great. Find it for yourself. Move with your intention. Couple more rounds. Working with the whole spine. One more round, inhale. And one more round, exhale. Putting up here, and then we're going to bring it into like a little barrel circle. So the whole torso circles like a barrel. So you're kind of moving between cat and cow, but you have these side options too that just present themselves. And the whole body's kind of in a fluid movement. The head moves with the circle in the other direction, like you're scraping the edges of a barrel. What's filling your barrel? Last couple movements. And let's curl the toes under and have a seat back onto the heels for toes pose. So this can be intense to have a seat here. You're sitting on your heels and you're spreading your toes out wide. Beautiful grounding pose to open up the soles of the feet. If this is too much, have a seat up on a block or come in and out of it. See if you can really stretch the soles of the feet. Give a little shake out to the arms. Get rid of your extras that are inside. Let them out. Let's circle the shoulders forward, up, back, and down. Let the head move the way it wishes. Find your breath and bring a little more movement into the arms, through the elbows and wrists and fingers. Anytime you need to come out of toes pose, please take it. And we'll take some big backstrokes, big arm backstrokes. Finding your breath, finding your gaze, maybe side to side. Let's meet with the hands clasped behind the back, open the collarbones, drop the shoulders. Lift the chest up a little bit, look up with your eyes, a little hopeful moment. Big breath in. And then hands land on the ground, and let's tap the tops of the feet to release our toes close and release any aggressions or frustrations we have. Curl the toes under, rise your way up, downward facing dog, and bend one knee and then the other. Just walk this out. Ease out through the legs. Open up the shoulder blades. Open up the armpits and the inner elbows. Turn your toes to the left and your heels to the right. Spread through the left side body. Head bows. And then turn your toes to the right and your heels to the left and spread through the right side body. Head bowing. Come on back through center and feet together. Palms press forward. Hips press up toward the sky where the wall and the ceiling meet. Way, way up. Thighs engage. Really engage your quads. Press your palms forward and your shoulder blades back. Launch your right leg up to the sky and circle out that right ankle. And then stack your right hip over your left hip. Bend your right knee and roll your hip open, pressing your right foot toward your left shoulder, and then find a circle for that right knee. Find your breath. Circle in the other direction as you feel ready. And then go ahead, launch your right leg super high to the sky, big breath in. And exhale, rounded knee to nose, shoulders over wrists. Feel the squeeze of the belly. Step the right foot forward. And let's go ahead right away and straighten both legs and pull back through your hips and bow through your head. You might use blocks for your hands, or they might be on the ground. They could also be interlaced behind you, or any other position that feels good. Sometimes a reverse prayer is amazing. Feel your low back here. What could you do to kind of make it feel even better. Bow your head. You might microbend a knee. You might lift the 5 toes of the right foot off the mat, staying on the heel of that foot. Take another breath, inhale. And then release and turn your toes toward the side of the mat, facing the left side, shoulders over wrists. Find a flat back moment, tailbone drawing back, crown of head drawing forward, belly supporting this long flat spine. Inhale. And legs are super strong and engaged. Could be microbent if needed. And exhale, fold, bow the head down. Let the head drop. Let the hips rise. Let the jaw release. And welcome yourself into this new time frame as we've come into fall, new kind of shift for the light that we experience, how that affects our bodies. Just take the time to receive that. Find your way back to flat back. Inhale. And then turn back around to face the front of your mat and dip down onto the left knee. Hands come to that front thigh. Sink into your hips. Dip into your hips. And broaden your arms into a nice wide goddess shape. So the elbows are in line with the shoulders. The shoulders kind of tuck under as the elbows press forward. The fingertips draw back a little bit. You can even wiggle your fingers. And then launch your arms to the sky. Just get longer, a little more energized through the hips. Through the front of that left hip particularly. Take another breath. And then release and walk your right foot over to the right a little further. Take a moment just to land. Hands to the inside of that right foot. Left knee might draw back a pinch. And then turn your right toes out to face about 2 o'clock on your mat. And then check for gum under the sole of your right foot, coming onto the knife edge of that foot. And just move around a little bit and say hello to your low back, your hips, whatever you notice, maybe your shoulders. Start to turn your torso gently toward the right. Maybe start to turn your torso even further toward the back of your mat. Let's meet on the left side of the leg, the left outer hip as well. Left leg is long on the mat, right hand at the right knee, and just spin to face the back of the mat. Take your time to move, finding yourself slowly. One more breath. Let's unfurl, unwind, and come back to a pyramid pose. Pull back through the hips, bow through the head, shake out the head. Big breath in, big breath out. Step back strong to the high plank and just pause there. Breathing, collecting yourself, engaging what needs engaging and softening what's able to soften. One more breath in. Knees down, chest down, chin down, little wiggle worm to the body. Belly down, and the heart rises, the chest rises. We come onto our forearms. Give a little circle to your wrists if you need it. Interlace the fingers. Elbows shoulder width apart. Chest is lifting. Elbows kind of crawl back as the belly crawls forward, opening the chest. One more breath. And then see if you can come onto a forearm plank. Curl the toes under. Press on up. Forearm plank. Just pause and breathe and arrive. And then walk your feet in, your hips lift up. Your head bows heavy. Pausing, welcoming in the shape. Hand to hand brings you to down dog. And then just for a little moment, walk your hands back to your feet and dip your hips. Turn your toes out, your heels in, and hands come to heart for a squat. Malasana. Elbows come to the inner thighs and the tailbone drops. Beautiful grounding pose. Beautiful stretch for the low back. And draw the belly in to support all of this. Drop the shoulders and soften your mind. Welcome yourself to this moment. to a shift, to a change, slowing it down so we can get used to it a little bit better. And then just bow your head and walk your hands forward and reestablish your downward facing dog in your own timing. Launching the left leg up to the sky, circling out the left ankle. Stacking your left hip over your right, bend your left knee, roll open. Enjoy. Circling the left knee as you see fit when you're ready. Just to lubricate the hip joint and ease out the low back. Take your time. Launching left leg to the sky as you're ready, pulling back through each heel, pressing forward through each palm. Inhale. Exhale, round and squeeze in. Engage that belly a little bit, hood up your low back, and step your left foot forward, straightening both legs. Take your time. Find your hand position. Bow your head, releasing out any excess stress or thoughts. Maybe you lift the 5 toes of the left foot for a little extra stretch to the back line of the body on the left side. Bow that head, lift your hips, engage your belly to support. A deep breath in and out. And then turn to face the side of your mat. Shoulders over the wrists, wrists under shoulders, flat back moment. Engage the core, reach the crown of the head forward, shoulder blades back, and then bow and fold and just release into the ground, toward the ground with the head, the soles of the feet, and the palms of the hands. Lots of connection there. Just sink into that connection. Energetic opening. 2 more breaths. And go ahead and walk your hands back around to the front as you're ready. Dipping down onto the right knee just a little bit, nice and gentle. Turn the left toes out to face about 10 o'clock. And then check for gum under the sole of the left foot. Probably none there either. And then just have your movements. Just take your time to move through this. A little bit of hip movement, little bit of torso spin. All this to your ability, to your mood even. Yes, to your intention. Let's meet on the outer edge of the right leg, and that right leg is long. And turn and spin, left knee opened with the left hand. Heart remains high. Take a big breath here, inhale. And we'll unfurl and pull back again for a quick pyramid pose. And find your way back, plank pose, pausing. Knees could always be down if you need that. Shoulders away from ears, breath long and strong. Full and deep, starting to really feel the rhythm of your breath moving through your nose, closing the mouth, filtering the breath with an ujjayi sound, a steamy sounding breath. And then low push-up. If you want to drop your knees down, okay. Elbows in toward the body, very close. Find an upward dog, your version of some back bend. The chest is lifting, the legs are powerful. The thighs on or off the ground. Inhale. And then exhale, a quick child pose. Releasing the wrists. Opening the low back a little bit. And then walking yourself back into a squat at the back of your mat. Toes out, heels in. Elbows to the inner thighs, tailbone and low back drop, hands to the heart in prayer. Chest is rising, head is easy. Take another breath here. And then walk yourself forward, downward facing dog. Big breath in, smooth breath out. Open up the backs of those legs and open up the length of your arms. Bend your knees. Look forward and spring step or float to the front of your mat. Reach out to that flat back moment again, belly strong and supportive. And then exhale, bow. Let your head drop. Let your hair release like a cascade. If you've got long hair, just let it really go. There's lots of energy in our hair, actually. All the stories of our times with this hair, whether you have some or not. Still telling the story of what has been. And then if you can, interlace your hands up high toward the sky, bow your head low, bend your knees a little or a lot, open up the shoulders, walk each hip back a little bit, just kind of opening up the waistline and low back. And then bend your knees, keep your hands clasped if you can as you rise to standing. And just take a moment in stillness to stand and feel your ground. If you need to shake anything out of the body just to find that ground, what does that mean to you to be grounded? We're always in connection with the earth. Sometimes we forget because there's so much bustling around us. Spread your feet, open your palms, open the crown of the head, relax the heart, and breathe in this moment. And feel your energy. And feel the earth supporting you. Find stillness, even in all the movement. Always movement. Blow the arms high, gathering it all in above. And then exhale, fold and bow, nice and easy. You might bend the knees to get the head down, hips high. Inhale, long, flat back, reach out. Exhale, step or jump in high plank. And again, if you want your knees down for that low push-up, always on offer. Inhale, open the heart, take your time, revel in each moment. And exhale, downward facing dog, hips rise, head bows heavy. What do you need to feel grounded? What gives you that gift? Reach the right leg up to the sky and step your right foot forward. Warrior one, right foot steps, left foot spins flat. Take the moment to feel the feet on the ground and then rise. And feel yourself grounded. Feel the connection to the earth. Feel what it feels like to be grounded. Are you still as a statue? Are you moving? Are you unsure? Rise the arms up to the sky and take your right hand to your left wrist and just give a pull. Spread through the back foot and get longer through the left side. Take a big breath here, inhale. And then we're going to bow and fold over the front thigh, interlace the hands, and just draw the shoulders back. The belly barely touches the front thigh, but feel into the legs, feel the ground here. Inhale and exhale. Let's rise up one more time. Inhale, warrior one. And then exhale, let's open wide, warrior two, and just take a moment to feel your connection to the ground. Feel free to dance those arms and shoulders out if that's good for you. And we'll do a couple bends and straightens. So reverse the warrior, straightening the right leg, inhale. And then exhale, land back in warrior two. Like a beautiful landing moment. Couple times. Inhale, reverse. And exhale, just a light back onto the ground. Inhale, reverse. Exhale, warrior two. Inhale, reverse. And this time we'll land in our side angle for our exhale. Right elbow to right thigh. You could also choose to use a block. That might feel more grounding. So just notice what works for you to bring you to grounded, a sense of grounded. Hand to the low back, just to remind that low back to lengthen and to soften. And then if you want, you can wrap that left arm toward the front thigh, toward the right thigh. Spin your heart open for 3. Breathing deeply, 2. Getting super long through the side body. One more breath, inhale. Exhale, we're gonna unfurl and we're gonna gently step the left foot to meet the right. Reach out flat back and then dip yourself back into that squat. Toes turn out, heels turn in. If it's hard for your heels to come down, you can just stay up on your tippy toes or sit on a block or place something under the heels. Take another big breath here. Inhale. And exhale, release earthward. Plant the hands and step yourself back to downward facing dog. Big breath in and big breath out. Left leg flows up to the sky. And we'll step forward for warrior one. Left foot steps. Right foot spins flat. Find your feet. Find the earth. You might land your hands at your hips for a moment just to connect even more into earth center. Reach the arms up. Left hand takes right wrist for a little extra tug. Get longer, longer, longer through the left side. Shoulders relax. And then fly the arms back, interlace your hands, and hover above that front thigh. This really brings you into your legs. So just notice their power, notice their connection to earth. Let the energy melt toward the earth, and then rise right out of you. Rise on up, inhale. Swing wide warrior two, exhale. Maybe a little dance for the arms. Maybe more of a focus on the feet to the ground. And then reverse your warrior, straightening up your left leg. Inhale. And then exhale, return to that warrior two shape. Ha, land it. Inhale, reverse. Exhale, feel the moment, land it. Ha. Inhale, reverse, open up, left side body. Exhale, alighting into warrior two, all channels open. And last one, inhale, reverse it. And this time we land side angle, left elbow to left thigh. And just take your right hand to your low back and just give it a little rub, a little attention, a little love, a little massage and energy. This sacrum lands us to ground. So give it some love today. Wrap your right arm around your back if it's there for you toward the front of the left thigh. And spin through the belly, spin through the ribs, spin through the heart. Really open this up. Find your breath to take you there. Take a moment to spread all 10 toes and open up the soles of the feet to the earth. Last breath. And then unfurl and step your right foot forward to meet your left. Reach out flat back. Inhale and sink into your squat once again. Toes out, heels in. If you want to drop your head this time, just kind of curling up in between your inner thighs, that could be fun. If you're more interested in lifting the chest, opening the heart, also wonderful option. Full deep breaths. Grounding, releasing, 2 more breaths. And just for fun, let's have a quick boat pose. So have a seat on your hips and lift your legs, lift your chest. Hands could support the legs, a little more grounding, or you can release the arms for the full boat pose. You could also straighten your legs. 1 breath here, inhale. Cross your ankles, step back to downward facing dog. Lift your hips high and bow your head heavy. The right leg flows up to the sky, and we'll step the right foot forward, warrior one. Inhale, rise. Take a moment, hands at hips, just to feel the ground. Reach the arms up. Right hand takes left wrist and pulls a little length into the whole left side, like you're threading a needle through a silk cloth. And then reach the arms back like we did before. Interlace, hover the torso right off the front thigh. Rise your way up, inhale, warrior one. Swing wide, warrior two. Reverse the warrior, straightening your right leg. We'll take a couple of those. Exhale, bend, alighting, landing. Inhale, reverse. Exhale, bend. Repetitive motions can be very grounding, right? Inhale, reverse. Exhale, bend. Inhale, reverse, straightening the right leg. This time we hinge into triangle pose. Tailbone goes back, right side body stays super long, and the right hand lands. I like to land on a block behind the right leg and spin your heart open, open your chest, open your collarbones. Left hand comes to that low back for a little rub, a little support. There might be a micro bend in the right knee. Left arm flows up to the sky. Just touch your pose. Touch the opening here. How can this bring you into grounding? Find your breath. That's a great one. That's a great clue to bring yourself into grounding. For 3, 2, choose your gaze. Also very grounding to notice your gaze and stay with it. Last breath. And let's unwind and step it back strong. High plank. Moving through a vinyasa, low push up. Inhale, up dog. Open the heart, strengthen the legs. Exhale, down dog. Pull the hips high and press the palms forward. And just take a moment to land before moving. Left leg flows up to the sky. Inhale. And let's step into warrior 1. Left foot steps, right foot spins flat. Find your footing. Hands to the hips. Take a moment. Land, relax into what is right now. Reach your arms up and feel your feet connected to earth. And then fly your arms back, interlacing your fingers. Hover above the front thigh. Legs come really into focus, into ground. Reach the arms up again. And swing wide, warrior 2. Reverse the warrior, straightening the left leg. Returning back to warrior 2. Exhale. Inhale, reverse, open up. Exhale, warrior 2, bending into that left knee, strong legs. Inhale, reverse, open it up. Exhale, warrior 2. Straightening, opening left side, inhale. Hinge at the hips, tailbone goes back, left side stays long. Left hand lands onto the block, high end, and right hand rubs the low back, just noticing the shape of your back, supportive. Maybe a micro bend in the left knee. Eventually, if you wish, the right arm flows to the sky and you've got this beautiful starburst, gathering all your energy into the center of yourself. For 3, 2, 1 more breath, inhale. Let's unwind and step it back strong, high plank. Low push up. Up dog, inhale. Down dog, exhale. Walk your hands back to your feet and find that squat once again. Really using this as an anchor pose to ground and to open the low back, of course. Elbows into inner thighs to bring yourself wide. And if you wanted your head to bow, that's also an option. Hips down, boat pose. Hands to the backs of the knees. Legs are straightened or can bend. Hands can release. Just take a breath, inhale. And exhale, just cross your ankles and have a seat for a moment. A little quick seated meditation in the middle. If you're ever feeling overwhelmed, find your seat, find your breath. And then find the touch of your hands somewhere on your body that supports this moment. Let's meet with the hands at the face and just take a quick little massage to the face, just to release any tension that lies there. The forehead, around the eyes, the orbit of the eyes, the sinuses around the nose. Open the mouth, let the jaw hang. Let the head move. And then walk the hands forward on the mat. You're still cross-legged, and instead of a child pose, just bow your head here with the legs crossed. Release the head and open up the back line of the body. Big breaths, 2 more. Walk your hands back and let's switch the cross of the legs. Hands come behind you, legs, give them a little shake and bring the other leg in front and then walk forward again. You'll notice a difference in what you feel for your hips and low back. Head bows, maybe forehead touches ground, maybe not. Arms long. Breathe into your back body. Walk your hands back. Give your shoulders a little squeeze with your hands, a little movement for the shoulders and the arms, the chest, maybe a little side to side, just a little pause in the middle. So nice. Oh. And we're gonna come into a very grounding pose called frog. Most of you know it. It's the belly down on the ground, and the hips. It's a big hip opener as well. So we're going to take the sides of our mat and walk them in so that there's a padding here. And we've been doing a lot of squats, so we've prepared ourselves to open our inner thighs like this, walking your knees as wide as you can on your mat. And it's going to be a big stretch to the inner thighs. And then walk your ankles in line with your knees. And the forearms come to the ground. Now you can always place something under your belly if you need that extra support. Totally fine. Especially if you've got a real sway back. This is a really nice pose for the low back, especially if you place something on the belly. I think you'll notice some nice release through the belly, which will support your low back. And this is a fantastic hip opener for the inner thighs, for the groin, which can be intense for many people. So just take your time with it. But feel this connection to the earth. Feel your front body connecting to the earth. Let your head bow and release and relax, maybe supported in your hands. Hips draw back towards your heels to your degree. And just slow your breath. And this pose is a very first chakra pose. This is a pose about our basics, our food, our clothing, our shelter. So just sink into gratitude for what you have in that realm. Find your breath. Keep pressing your hips back and letting your head release. Take a few more breaths. Sinking into the moment. Two more breaths. You can do this. And our way out of this is down. So splat yourself on the mat or come into a wide-legged child pose. Just take your time to land onto your belly with your thighs behind you. And just a little windshield wiper for those hips, those legs, that low back. This should feel very good. Just breathe into the experience. And as you're ready, open your mat back out and turn so your head is at the top of the mat again. Belly still down. And just take a little rest. Legs extended. Head supported by your hands or a block or a pillow, whatever it is. And just feel the whole front of your body here on the mat and how that might feel very grounding. So we yield before we push. So as this is a developmental movement, we yield before we push. So we yield, let go before you push into something big. And then bring your forehead down to the mat. And interlace your hands behind you and lift your chest and lift your thighs. Just feel yourself rising, pushing through the ground and up. To your degree, doesn't have to be big. Just take some breaths into this opening. One more big breath in. And release and turn your head to the other side and bend your knees and windshield wiper your legs side to side. Find your ease, find your breath. Hands reach back for your feet or ankles, forehead to the ground, knees walk in toward one another. Front of body gets long on the mat. Just take a moment with that. Shoulders drop away from the ears. Pubic bone presses into the floor. Feel into this shape and just really revel in it. What does it bring you? Does it ground you? Does it energize you? Does it do a little of both? If you want to come further, the hands are holding onto the legs and the legs press back and the chest rises. And you might not go far, and that's fine. If you want, you can rock and roll up the length of your belly, up and down. Take a breath wherever you are. Revel in the perfection. Inhale. And then release, and we'll press back to a child pose. Hips back toward heels once again. Forehead to the ground once again. Arms extended or by your sides. Breath in, breath out. In your own timing, rising up to downward facing dog. There's no rush to get there. Be kind with yourself, be gentle. Paw out your palms and bicycle out your feet a little bit. Nod your head yes, and shake it out no. And launch the right leg up to the sky, inhale. And step your right foot to your left wrist for pigeon, sinking through the hips, lifting through the chest. You should be well prepared for this after our foray into frog pose that we did earlier. This is kind of a counter pose to frog, so just notice how you feel in here. When you feel ready to fold and bow, go for it. If you'd rather stay up high, you could also do that. Beautiful hip work here. Find your breath. Relax your jaw. Find your ground and how yielding into the ground brings you more energy to push away from it or to pull towards something or reach towards something. Few more breaths. Big breath in. Yawn it out. Open the mouth. Ha. Rise your way up. Right knee stays bent and left leg swings forward. So find the left leg just off center toward the left and find your best posture of the day. Really open your heart and lengthen your spine. And spin so you face the kneecap of that left leg. Right hand comes to the outside of that kneecap. Spin, 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 turn, turn, twist. Take a breath and slide your way down the left leg. This beautiful opening for the low back. And blow a kiss to your left knee. And feel into the experience here. Getting longer through the spine. You'll feel a beautiful stretch for the outer flank on the right side, low back. Couple more breaths. And we rise, rise, rise. Take a moment to shake out both legs, give them a nice shake. And then cross your ankles. And before we jump into the next moment, just have a seat and just, again, land yourself in. Ground through your breath and your beautiful posture. And ground through your hands somewhere on your body. Feel this moment, touch this moment. Ground into this moment. accept this moment. And then hands come to the top of the mat as you're ready and walk your way into downward facing dog again. Launching the left leg up to the sky, breath in. Stepping your left foot to your right wrist, breath out. Grounding through the hips, lifting through the heart. Taking your time to open into the pose. Taking your time to fold and bow as you're ready. There's no rush. Find a slower paced breath. And a focus through your mind, your brain. Staying with each moment. Few more breaths, really sink into it, relax into it. Two more breaths. Last breath in. Sigh it out. Rise your way up. Left knee stays bent. Right leg extends forward and long. Take a moment to land the pose. Set it up well. Feel your sitting bones. Another piece about grounding is to just do it right. Just really take your time, not rushing or flying from one thing to the next. Little spin toward the right. Left hand lands to the outside of the right knee. And we practice this a lot in yoga. We really take our time to set things up well and progress from one pose to the next, also important. Sliding your left hand down your right leg and sinking into the pose, taking your time, moving with release, with length, with ease, with your intention. A few breaths here. Two more breaths. Last breath in. Sigh it out. Come on up. And lengthen both legs forward. Just take a moment to shake them out. And we'll do another forward fold, a nice grounding pose, also great for the low back. So Paschimottanasana with the legs extended, legs about hip width or wider apart, and just feel your hands on the ground. Feel your sitting bones on the ground and the length of the legs on the ground. Open your chest, open your heart. And then slide in. I've put a blanket on top of my legs to give myself a nice soft landing. Maybe some support for your head might feel amazing. 5 breaths here, slow, full, and deep. 5 inhales and exhales. Legs stay engaged. Spine gets long. Once you've completed your 5th round of breath, bend your knees and just find your way to lying on your back and hug your knees into your chest and take a little rock side to side, feeling your back on the ground, feeling your low back might feel amazing right now. Hands to the knees and give a little circle out for the knees. Find your breath with that circle. Ease out your head with that circle. Circle in the other direction. And we'll take a quick bridge pose just to open the back body in a different way. Feet to the ground. If you'd rather use a block under your hips, have it handy. Press through your feet, lift through your hips, and either interlace your hands under you or take the sides of your mats. So just revel in this back bend. We haven't done a lot of back bending
a little bit, but really feel the difference after doing a lot more grounding and forward bending. Little rush to the body, perhaps. Inhale. And when you feel ready, when it's time, you come out and you hug your knees into your chest again. We'll end with some twisting. So the right knee hugs in, the left leg extends long, and right knee crosses over the body for a beautiful twist. Really a last hurrah for the low back and the hips. Chest remains open, and choose your gaze, be steady with it. How can you be grounded in twist, in rotation? Just ponder on that one. And when you feel like it's time to switch sides, take a moment in the middle and switch it up. There's no timing on this that's right. This is all you. All for you, all good. Left knee comes across the body and the left arm opens and the twist happens in your timing. Feeling into the places and spaces that are really affected by this movement. All of it, all of us. And when you feel ready to come out of side B twist, find your way to your Shavasana. There might be a move or two that needs to happen before settling into the full Shavasana. Only you and your body know what that is, so really take your time with it. Listen and let it happen. When you've landed in your Shavasana, make sure you feel well supported. Make sure you feel warm enough or cool enough. And let your breath really be at ease. And let this be a real deep connection to earth. We've done a lot of earth grounding focus today. So really let this be the ultimate moment. Feel the ground. To feel grounded. To yield. And just to be. I will hold the space so you can just relax, and I will call us out when it's time. So really let go into ground. Let go into breath. Let go into now. Let go. Take a big breath in. And a long breath out. Inhale, full, deep and slow. And exhale, let it go. Begin to wiggle your fingers and toes. And let your head roll easy side to side. And before getting up too quickly, roll onto your side and pause. Go step by step with things today. Be a little extra kind and gentle with yourself.
Rise your way on up to seated as you're ready. And feel your fullness. Once you found your seat, just feel how open and full you can be when you are. Feel your breath. Feel your hands to your heart. And let that touch really ground you, center you. There are places within us that where we can ground, not just the earth. We can ground into ourselves. How do you do that? Let your gaze go down to your heart and your hands. And then let your thumbs rise to your third eye center and rise, rise, rise. You stay grounded, but rise and open. Like a tether holding you so that you can explore and energize. Take a breath. And we'll bow to one another. Namaste.